Wood County Board of Supervisors, July 23rd meeting to order. I would ask the clerk to please take the roll, and I assume he has probably done that already. Yes. I have Supervisor Schultz will be joining us remotely, although at times he's having some connection issues from wherever that is occurring. And at this time, I would call on Supervisor Jay Kahn to please come forward for the invocation. I'd ask the body to please rise and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Please bow your heads if you feel so inclined. As we gather here today to serve the citizens of Wood County, let us take a moment to reflect and give thanks to the brave men and women in our armed forces who keep us free. Let us also remember the Sheriff's Department staff who works tirelessly to keep us safe. And finally, let us acknowledge and appreciate all of our dedicated staff and employees who work so hard to keep our county running smoothly. With gratitude in our hearts, let us unite in prayer and support for all of these individuals. Thank you and amen.
Amen. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good morning, everybody. As we move forward, the first order of business is the minutes from the previous meeting. I have Hamilton on the motion, second by Clendenning to approve. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Minutes are approved. We have no resignations today. We have no appointments or reappointments. Do we have any public comment today? Any public comment? So far, so good. All right, moving forward, acknowledgements and recognitions. We have a couple today, and there's one here we're going to put off until next month, possibly two of those, just because of their ability to attend today's meeting. So the first person that I would call on, if I could, is our Human Services Director, Brandon Bruin. Brandon, if you would please come forward. You have a presentation for somebody who has 25 years of service at Edgewater Haven.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to take a few minutes to recognize Joanne Rodriguez, who is our Director of Nursing at Edgewater Haven Nursing Home. Administrator Sislevich planned to be here this morning, but had something come up at Edgewater, so I'm going to jump in and take his spot and say a few things about Joanne. Joanne has been with Edgewater Haven for the last 25 years. In the last 7, she has served as our Director of Nursing. So when the Human Services Department became, and Edgewater Haven came together, shortly thereafter, Joanne became our Director of Nursing. So I've had an opportunity to work with her over the course of the last 7 years. The most important thing to Joanne is making sure that our residents are safe and get the care that they need. Her background from being a nursing supervisor and also a nurse before that really has come through in her work as a Director of Nursing. So she's able to relate well to our residents and the staff that are doing the work. Edgewater Haven is a 5-star facility, which means it's the highest rated facility possible by the Division of Medicare and Medicaid Services. Edgewater Haven, in my strong opinion, is the best nursing home in our area. We have 3 facilities in Southwood County, and Edgewater Haven is the highest rated. And the county has made a great commitment to making sure that Edgewater Haven is a quality facility. And I just want to recognize Joanne, thank her, and obviously the entire team at Edgewater Haven for making Edgewater Haven a great facility for all of our residents to enjoy. So again, thank you, Joanne. We appreciate you. Unfortunately, Joanne couldn't be here today, but I will certainly pass along this recognition and the support of the county board. Thank you all.
Thanks, Brandon. And the second one we have today is from the Highway Department. Randy, if you'd like to come forward. In recognition of an employee who's been with us 35 years, which is incredible. And while he works his way up here, I'll just make these comments. These are special individuals. They're the backbone of our workforce in all the operations in Wood County. They're special people, and without them, we would not be as successful as we are. So I want to as a board, thank every one of those who served us, in those 20, 25, 30, and 35-year commitments. Randy?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for letting me say a few words this morning. Can I ask Lynn to come up here?
No, I would hope so.
Lynn, would you please come up here? While Lynn's coming up, yesterday Roland approached me and asked me if I could come today and say a few words about Lynn. Yes, she's been here for 35 years. Every day that I've come to work, Lynn has been here. So I have the honor today to say a few things about a fellow co-worker at the Highway Department. Lynn, like we've said, has been here for 35 years at the Highway Department. In that time, she's had several jobs. She started as a summer help. She was a truck operator. She was a hot mix plant operator. She was the lead person at the hot mix plant operator, stockroom person, patrolman for a time. Don't think I missed any there. And like I said, almost every day, because Lynn is the top, she is our most senior person, that every day that I've come to work, Lynn has been here. Lynn has seen many changes in the past 35 years at our highway with the vehicles, with technology. Lynn has done an excellent job keeping up with those changes, whether it was as a patrolman, whether it was truck operator, most recently now in the stock room, making sure that all of our people have what they need to do the best job they can to keep all of the roads safe for everybody that travels in Wood County, through Wood County, whether they're residents or not. Along with congratulating Lynn on the past 35 years, I'd also like to congratulate her on her upcoming retirement. Lynn has let us know that she will be retiring in early September. So congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you.
Lynn, do you want to say anything?
Thank you for the recognition. Like Randy said, I'm going to retire September 4th. That's my birthday, 55. I'm very excited. I got a new boss, and that's Jake. I'm going to be driving school bus. So continuing on. Continuing on with the public service. And then I'm a grandma to 3 little girls. Luna is 4, Nova's 3, and Mira is 5 months. So I'm going to enjoy spending time with them. But I really enjoyed working at the highway department, and I think mostly I'm going to miss the guys. They were all good over the years. Yep, even the new ones. So them are all the new people there are my new old memory, are going to be my new old good times. All right, thank you.
Congratulations. And I'm not sure if it's a good idea that our highway department chair is cannibalizing our workforce as I sit here. But County Clerk, is it okay with you if we just take care of this resolution right away too?
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
recognition of long-term employees. It was at the end of your packet, and I would entertain a motion for approval on that. I have Lightnum and I have a second by Bride. Is there any discussion? All right, by voice vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And opposed, and that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, and thank you, Lynn. Thanks for being here today, and congratulations for your years with Wood County, and we wish you the best going on in the future. Thank you. All right, as we move forward into the packet today, we are going to have a couple special orders of business today. I'm actually going to flip-flap those, so we're going to do the UWSP ahead of the Park and Forest report, but we've got the packet to roll through here first. So referrals, we have absolutely none this month. As we move forward, your packet pages 5 through 7 is the Operations Committee meeting of July 9th. The Human Resources Department update from 9 to 13, 9 through 13. Comments from the Treasurer's Office on 14. Employee Wellness on 15. And then that brings us to the first resolution in your packet brought forth by the Operations Committee.
This will be Resolution 24-7-2 to amend the 2024 budget for Norwood Maintenance Function for the purpose of funding the design and engineering costs for the Wood County Annex and Health Center water lines. Fiscal note, to transfer $50,000 from available balance in contingency to the Norwood Maintenance Function. At the time of this request, of funds available in contingency are $592,217. Also, to transfer $100,000 from the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund to Norwood Maintenance Function. The adjustment to the budget totals $150,000.
Thank you. I have a motion by Butke. I have a second by Hamilton. Any discussion? Any discussion? All right, I'd ask you to go to the board and please vote.
Supervisor Schultz.
I vote yes.
Thank you. That resolution passes unanimously, 19-0. All right, moving forward in the packet, pages 17 and 18, another resolution brought forth by the Operations Committee.
This will be Resolution 24-7-3 to tax deed eligible property. Authorize the tax deeding of property in compliance with Section 75.14 Wisconsin statutes. Fiscal note, taxes, special charges, delinquent utilities, publication fees, and tax deeding expense total $27,398.08.
Motion by Bry, and again, a second by Hamilton. Any discussion on the resolution? Supervisor Hovind.
Are these properties that are just vacant, or there's no one on them?
I'm going to defer here to Heather. Would you come to the microphone?
So some of these properties may have people still living in them. I don't know until this official day we take them back, and then we start notifying. We just send to everybody eviction notices. So there are 5 houses and 2 just vacant land areas, but I won't know for sure if there's anybody in them yet or not.
And nothing on them since 2020?
They have not paid their taxes since 2020, correct?
Okay.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All right, please go to the board and vote.
Supervisor Schultz.
I vote yes.
Thank you, Wayne. And again, that resolution passes 19-0. All right, moving forward, page 19, 20, and 21, minutes of the Health and Human Services Committee, the June 27th. Then we have the minutes, the public hearing for the Human Services Department on pages 22 and 23. The monthly update from the Health Department, pages 24 through 27. And the monthly update from the Human Services Department beginning on 28, and that runs through page 34, 28 to 34. The Veteran Service Officers report with some additional information and documentation that begins on 35 and runs through page 41, 35 to 41. And there's some reports in there that show the financial impact, economic impact to Wood County. Beginning on 42 is the minutes of the Public Safety Committee from July 8th. That's pages 42 and 43. And then the Sheriff's Department monthly update, their report beginning on 44, and that runs all the way through page 64, 44 to 64. Nobody will probably say it, but I had a conversation with our facilities manager this morning, and our big jail project is moving along on schedule, on time, and at this particular time on budget. So things are looking good there. Our extension report beginning on 79 through 74, their June report are 69 through 74. Monthly update from Land and Water, pages 75 to 80. 75 to 80. Planning and Zoning's update, pages 81 to 85. 81 to 85. Then we have the resolution brought forth by the Seat Committee, and I'd ask the clerk to please read that.
This will be Resolution 24-7-4 to approve an amendment to the Town of Dexter official zoning ordinance. Fiscal note, none.
Motion by Hamilton, second by Lightman. Any discussion? Any discussion? All right, please go to the board and vote.
Supervisor Schultz.
I vote yes.
Thanks, Wayne. And again, that resolution passes 19-0. 19-0. We have a resolution following that on page 87 from the Census Review and Redistricting Committee.
This will be Resolution 24-7-5, to amend the County Board of Supervisors district map for Districts 5 and 6 to reflect the annexation by the City of Marshall. Fiscal note none.
Motion by Hamilton, second by Bragg. Any discussion? Don't see any. All right, I'd ask you to please vote.
Supervisor Schultz.
I vote yes.
And again, that resolution passes 19-0. Page 88 was a map of that. So moving forward on page 89 and 90, minutes of the Judicial and Legislative Committee of July 5th. That's 89 and 90. We have an update from the Child Support Agency, Director of Rulings, on page 91. From the Clerk of Courts, Kimberly Stemick, on page 92. Corp Counsel Kastenholz update on 93. From the Criminal Justice Department on 94 and 95. Monthly report from Register and Probate on 96. And the Register of Deeds Office on 97. Pages 99 through 102. 99 through 102 is our Victim Witness Service Report. Well, that's right. That's page 98. I'm sorry. Where did I? Yeah. Then I have a resolution that begins on 99 and kind of runs through 102, and there's an addendum to that runs from 103 to 108, and I'd ask the clerk to please read the resolution.
This will be Resolution 24-7-6, to authorize and direct the Corporation Council to execute the necessary documents so as to have Wood County enter into the opioid settlement agreement with the Kroger Company. Fiscal note, undetermined amount of revenues to Wood County.
Sure, you can say that. I had a motion by Roser, a second by Clendenning. Again, this is the mechanism by which we receive those funds. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? I'd ask you to please vote.
Supervisor Schultz.
I vote yes.
And that resolution passes unanimously. And then the 103 to 108 was the addendum to that. So we'll move forward to page 109 in your packet, 109, and that is the minutes of the Highway Infrastructure Recreation Committee. Their meeting from Monday, July 1st, begins on 109 and runs through 112. 109 to 112. Update from the Highway Commissioner begins on 113 and runs through 119. 113 through 119. And then we have the monthly report. We are going to have their annual report later today from the Park and Forestry Department. Their monthly report 120 and 121. I'll just make a real quick comment. He'll probably do that. I had some comments from some people who were up at Powers Bluff the other day on the bike trails up there, and they said those were sensational. Now, I have not tried that yet, but they said it was great. The annual report is in your packet. I'm sure that Chad's going to have some slides in regard to this later, but 122 all the way through 137. 122 to 137 is the annual report from the Parks Department. Then we have our June and July revenue reports on 138 and 139. Page 140 is the Property and Information Technology Committee. I think we have a misspelled word at the top there. 140 and 141. 140 and 141. The 142 to 147, again, monthly update from IT. With your indulgence, we moved this county board meeting back 1 week, and we moved it back, the opportunity to attend the NACO, the National Association of Counties Annual Conference in Tampa. And one of the things we touched on there's dozens of sessions on generative AI and cybersecurity, which, in my opinion, is still the biggest risk to the county from a dollar and cents standpoint. And the provision of services, and I think some of you saw that the other day with the glitches on our globally with the Microsoft outage that has thousands and thousands of flight canceled. Banks were closed the other day. It was an issue. This is something that we take seriously in the county, and we will continue to do so. So that's 142 to 147. We have our Supervisor Clendenning, absolutely.
On the report from that committee and that went there, how many people were there from Wisconsin? Did you know?
At the NACO conference,
NACO conference.
roughly 20, about 20.
Okay, thank you.
I think what Supervisor Knez bringing up, there's a number of counties that send, and those are the ones that I just saw that registered through the county association. Some register on their own, there's staff from other counties that occasionally just register, but it's an important conference, and there's an unbelievable amount of information. There's dozens and dozens of sessions that are beneficial to cybersecurity people, IT departments, health departments, human services departments. And I think where you're going with this, Bill, is at some point we probably should send some people to the NAMCO conference, because you certainly can't cover all the sessions. All right, moving back to the packet, page 148, our facilities manager's report. The Central Wisconsin State Fair Board of Directors meeting from June 17th on 149 and 150. The Junior Fair Board minutes on 151 and 152. South Central Library System Board of Trustee minutes, 153 and 154. The Wood County Library Board minutes from April 18th on 155, 6, 7, and 8, 155 through 158. Their minutes from July 11th, beginning on 159, and that runs through 164. And we took care of the resolution on the long-term employees. Are there any questions on the packet or anything that we did there? All right, then at this point, I'm going to go back and give her a chance to sit down and catch up. Under our acknowledgments and recognitions today, I was contacted originally by the Wisconsin Counties Association. They have an award that I guess the better way to put this is they award a legislator every year, or a couple of legislators, as their legislator of the year. And Chelsea, some of you know her as Shanks, some of you know her as Fiber. Chelsea hasn't been married that long ago, but Chelsea handles our health and human services lobbying efforts for the Counties Association, and the County Association asked if they could have a few minutes today. They came up from actually south of Madison. I'm not sure, are you in Evansville?
Yeah, Evansville.
Yeah. Made the drive up here this morning because this is an important award from the Wisconsin County Association. Chelsea?
Thank you, Chairman Plimmel. As he said, I am Chelsea Shanks. I am one of the lobbyists at the Counties Association representing the Health and Human Services issue area. Obviously, I am, I speak with Lance very regularly, and I will say there's quite a few faces that I see pretty regularly in here as well, so I'm happy to see you all. We asked to present the award today, and I just would like to just explain a little bit of what the award is and why we're giving it, and then we'll do a little presentation. So WCA created the Outstanding Legislator Award, and we give it to a select number of legislators every year for specifically going above and beyond to represent counties in both their district, but overall statewide as well. And it wasn't even a question for us to make sure that we were awarding Representative Rosar one of these awards. She continues to represent you all as, her district, but overall at obviously both the county and the state level, she's an incredible advocate for county government. I will say personally, I have had numerous times where I've gone into her office and asked for help drafting a bill related to, obviously my issues are health and human services, but across the board we know that we can always rely on and partner with Representative Rosar. And so today we wanted to take the time to really say thank you for being a leader on county issues and making sure to always keep the counties in mind when you're putting things forward. And I just want to, on a side note, I also get the opportunity to work with Representative Rosar on a different board as well through Wisconsin Women in Government. So we've really had the opportunity to build a wonderful relationship, and looking forward to many more years. But thank you again for everything you've done, and I wanted to take the time to offer up this Outstanding Legislator Award to Representative Rosar. And of course, Chairman Plimmel always has such wonderful things to say about you as well, and we just know that we want to make sure we take the opportunity to say thank you for the work that you've done and continue to do, and just thank you all for giving me the time to be on your county board meeting agenda today to do this. So give this to you, and then, yeah.
Do you want to say a couple words?
And
A
then
couple
it's okay.
words?
A couple words. I don't know if I'm limited to
Just a
two.
couple?
Yes, thank you.
You know, when Representative called, well, let me start back where Gordy Stargard called me to run for his position on county board. I just thought it was a wonderful opportunity to serve locally. And then when Representative Culp called me 4 years ago to run for his position in the state assembly, it was just really a dream come true for me. You guys know that I had run before, I lost, it was a whole different story back then. But one thing that I really appreciated were all the years that I had spent on the county board, knowing I could go to Madison to speak with a great deal of credibility on how the things that we did in Madison affected local government. And so Chelsea's right. With reimbursement for dental services, with increased reimbursement in our nursing homes. I remember Mark Bourne came up, he's co-chair of Joint Finance, and Brandon was saying to him, you know we have 2 nursing homes in Wood County, and Mark Bourne looked at him and he said, Donna has told me you have 2 nursing homes in Wood County. So I've been able to really go down there and with some credibility with my local government experience, really make a difference, and that has been very rewarding for me. I think it's helped county government. We've done some really good things that will help county government across the state, and I appreciate this more than you know, and really have enjoyed working with you. So thank you all for this recognition.
Thanks. Should we take a picture?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick picture.
Yeah, while they're taking a picture, if any of you, Chelsea's right, I have the opportunity to work with her, but so does Brandon and Sue Smith, and a number of them work with Chelsea and WCA on a number of issues. And if any of you have any questions on health or human service issues, we have a number of lobbyists. We have 4 of them that handle different areas of county government. Chelsea a couple of years ago took over in that role with Health and Human Services. So if we can't answer the questions, give Chelsea a call. I call her so much when I call, they just go, not you again, but they will answer the phone, they will answer your questions, and if they don't have the answers, they'll get back to you right away. Again, Chelsea, thanks for coming up. Appreciate the effort. All right, as we move forward today, we have 2 special order of business, and I'm going to move the UWSP Marshfield report up first. So joining us today, we have Chancellor UWSP Thomas Gibson. Thomas, if you'd come forward, and with him, we have Dean Gretel Stack. So if the 2 of you would come forward, we will go through this. You know, many of you, and I don't want to step on anything they're going to say, is there's been some changes through the system and the way they're operating, and some of the use of some of those facilities, which the Counties Association has been working with UW to try to address. And they asked for the opportunity. I said, anytime you want to come, we'll make sure that we give you the opportunity. So, Chancellor?
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Chair Plimo, and good morning, Supervisors. We really appreciate this opportunity to share the outlook of UW Stevens Point, and in particularly our Marshfield campus. So we have a relatively brief presentation that we would like to share, and certainly we will invite questions and comments as appropriate. So I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Gretel Stock, to lead us off in our presentation. So, Gretel.
Thank you.
Should be down arrow, should be, yeah, where.
There we go. Wonderful. Good morning. So this is our agenda this morning. We want to talk a little bit about where we have been as a collaborative organization with Wood County, where we're going as a university, what our space needs are on our Marshfield-Wood County campus, and our commitment to Marshfield and Wood County. So first, I'd like to remind folks that even though our reorganization, which is the map on the left of the screen there, which brought all of us together into this partnership with multiple campuses aligning with UW Stevens Point, we've really been partners in the region for much longer. Our traditional recruitment circles are those shown here. The stars are our Marshfield and Wausau campuses that reside in Wood County and in Marathon County. And we really do touch many of the communities that you do in Wood County and have for a very long time. Our recruiters, our recruitment, our graduates, our business partners all lie within the same region, and that's a commitment that we take very seriously as a university. We also have a very strong commitment to the economic development of the state of Wisconsin. 94% of UWSP students stay in Wisconsin, most of them in the central Wisconsin region, 3 years after graduation. And 87% of Wisconsin residents who attended UWSP are still in the state a decade later. So we remain committed to a strong and thriving community. You can see on the map there, those where it's a little bit darker is where we have more graduates. You can see those dark boxes center pretty much right around our 3 and 4 county region that we serve as a university. Now, as we know, higher education has been facing strong headwinds for the last 5 or 6 years, coming up on the last decade. While our partnerships are strong, we are facing significant demographic headwinds in our traditional student population. This graph did show, and you can see in your packet, showed the last 30 years of enrollment trends at the Marshfield campus. In 2010 was the high point, and this was inflated during the recession, where more people were going back to college, the job market was less, thank you very much, wasn't as robust. So that high point is in 2010. The line down where it says 2017 is where we took on stewardship of our multiple campuses and started a one university strategy in order to support enrollment. Nevertheless, both the demographics of traditional high school students are declining and the number of participation rate among students is also scheduled to drop over 10% in the next decade. But that's not all bad news. We do have some strong growth, and I'm going to turn it over to Chancellor Gibson to continue.
Thank you, Gretel. So I believe it's important for each of you to know that UWSP is a strong university. Financially, we are not like some of our sibling institutions that you may have read about in the news most recently. In fact, we're seeing growth and stabilization in Stevens Point and on our Marshfield campus, while we're currently seeing some slight declines in Wausau. Marshfield should gain another 120 or so traditional students before the start of the academic year if our projections hold. A major part of our growth strategy as an institution is to address the needs of adult students. The university has seen promising growth in our graduate programs, but we also know that there's a market in the region for adult bachelor students, bachelor's degree seeking students. We know that 31% of Wisconsinites have a bachelor's degree, 24% in Wausau, 23% in Stevens Point, and 17% in Marshfield. So 12% of Wisconsin's population have some college credits but no degree, and 10% have an associate's degree. So that's 22% of the state's population that may want to finish a degree or seek advancement in their current role with additional education. We have developed a series of programs aimed at helping adults successfully complete a bachelor's degree. This summer, you will likely encounter our marketing efforts in terms of advertisements on the radio, some spots in movie theaters, and perhaps a billboard or two. Hopefully you've seen and engaged with some of those messages thus far. Direct marketing to adults with, again, some college credits but no bachelor's degree has already gone out. We've sent postcards directly to students. We engage local business and industries, and these efforts will continue throughout this month and perhaps sometime within August. Our goal is to raise awareness of these new degree programs and pivot in response to business and employer needs in Marshfield and Wood County. We've developed new pathways to emphasize bachelor's degree attainment. An associate degree is still possible, but that's not what we're seeing among our students. They are largely pursuing bachelor's degrees. Hybrid and online formats are popular, in particular for business, nursing, and engineering in Marshfield. Furthermore, we developed a bachelor's degree completion program in close partnership with Mid-State Technical College, as well as business partners in technology management, engineering, multidisciplinary studies, organizational leadership, business, and nursing. Greta.
So we were asked by the Universities of Wisconsin System Administration to conduct a space analysis, and all of the receiving institutions, all the 13 former branch campuses were asked to do so. So as part of this analysis, we took a look at what space that we were utilizing on the campus and for what purpose. Overall, we found we're using about 23% of our campus space for our core instructional operations. That doesn't necessarily include the occasional use of the theater for the many arts programs that we offer. It doesn't include when our continuing education department holds education or activities out there, but our daily core operations uses approximately 23% of the space. We know that in the future, we're going to need less space and more focused space on the campus. Overall, we found that market studies and student behavior show that they aren't interested in the full campus experience, but they are interested in the high-touch services that we provide and the course offerings that help them get them forward towards a new career or towards that workforce development. We will need a combination of online, hybrid, and in-person courses to meet the demands of the learners that Tom Gibson just mentioned here in our conversation. So overall, just to give you some of the numbers, 24% of the campus space is used for core operations. Currently, about 8,700 square feet is under MOU agreement with nonprofit entities or Universities of Wisconsin entities. But there shows the total number of campus square footage and the amount of square footage that we're currently utilizing. One of those MOU entities is the UW Eau Claire nursing program, which has given us notice that they intend to no longer operate within the Marshfield campus. They are going to go with other options, online and hybrid instead. So we will have opportunities to partner with other entities in the region, which is our intent, in order to best utilize the campus space going forward. So in collaboration with the City of Marshfield and Wood County, which are our two sponsoring funding agencies, we'd like to expand our space collaborations with other entities in the region. We'd like to make sure that we are assessing our enrollment performance to make sure that we are, again, utilizing our space wisely. But we really want to focus on collaboration within the spaces that we have, because the spaces are well kept. The county has invested in money over the years. They are serving the community right now and will continue serving the community through our efforts. But we want to make sure that we are partnering actively with Wood County and with the City of Marshfield and other community entities to find those partners who can best utilize the space. We will absolutely make sure that we are communicating very closely with you through this process, and in fact, we'll be seeking partners from our University Commission to help with these conversations.
Thank you, Gretel. So, in closing, I would like to reiterate my commitment, our collective commitment to a university presence in Marshfield and Wood County. And each should also know that I will always endeavor to be as transparent as possible, as we were today in this presentation, to respond to any questions that you or a member of the community may have regarding the future of our Marshfield campus. I invite your good thinking, your ideas, as we seek to advance the future of our Marshfield campus. So thank you for your time, and I would invite any questions or comments that you may have.
Yeah, first of all, does anybody have any questions? I guess, add on to what you said. I have had the opportunity, I've taken the opportunity, I guess, or made time to tour the campus with Tony Andrews to see what the space availability is, what we can do and how I can do it. And the one thing I'll say is, whether it be yourself, Chancellor, or Dean Stock, Tony, any of those people are more than willing to have you come up, to meet with them, to tour the facilities, and to answer your questions. Geez, I probably talk to Tony more than I talk to my wife sometimes. But take the opportunity, not just with our facilities up there, but with all the facilities that the county owns. But I really appreciate your coming in. You asked for the opportunity. I said anytime you want to update us, we'll make the time. So does anybody have any questions? Looks like you covered everything.
Well, good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, Dean. Greatly appreciate your being here today, and you have a wonderful rest of the day.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
See Chad warming up in the back there, getting ready for the annual Park and Forestry report. We can switch off those pictures real quick, Trent. Anyway, before he even starts, I see our parks system is really outstanding. It truly is a jewel. I've had the opportunity to attend a number of Wisconsin County Parks Association tours. Our facilities really are second to none, and I'm going to leave it right there, Chad, and let you take over.
All right, thank you. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity again this year. This is obviously an annual event that I come up and share a lot of our accomplishments from the prior year. July historically has been kind of recognized as a National Parks and Recreation Month, so this is very fitting, obviously, that we do this every July. So I will dig into our presentation. In your packet, you do have the full annual report, so that gets into a little bit more detail. So obviously, you guys know the structure of our committee. We have 5 members that are County Board Supervisors. These 5 individuals were our committee as of 2023, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank them. They are very instrumental on the amount of work that we can get accomplished within our department. They've been very supportive over the last several years here, so I just want to give them kudos. In addition to that, kind of hard to see here, but we rely heavily on our staff. We have a very dedicated staff full of full-time employees as well as multiple seasonal employees throughout the year. We did have a couple long-time employees retire last year, one being Sue Pataki. She had been in the office administrative assistant role for many years. She did a great job. We definitely miss her. And Sandra Green was our office supervisor for the last several years as well. She too retired last year. So within the office we had quite a bit of turnover, but our new hirees are doing an excellent job. In addition to paid staff, we also rely heavily on volunteers throughout the year. So this is just a list of some of those individuals, clubs that we do work with. River Cities Nordic Ski Club, that's a group out of Wisconsin Rapids, and they maintain and groom our ski trail at Nepco County Park. Campground hosts, so each one of our 3 campgrounds, we have volunteer hosts that basically stay there all season. They set up their camper, they assist campers with multiple things throughout the summer. Friends of Powers Bluff, this group was actually formed way back in close to 2001, 2002. More recently, they've been a lot more involved and they're getting a lot more membership, and that really is because of the trail system that we were able to put in up at Powers Bluff. So just the future maintenance and additions, things like that, we really are relying on volunteers for that also. Disc golf clubs, both at Northwood County Park, Southwood County Park, there's very active members that maintain those courses. Snowmobile clubs, that's all the trails within the county basically are maintained by volunteer clubs. ATV clubs, again, very similar. Our ATV intensive use area, we work with the Central Wisconsin ATV Riders Club. And then the Consolidated Muskie Club, they're an organization that over the past several years we've partnered with through grant fund sharing, and that is for stocking muskie both in the Wisconsin River and Nepco Lake. So very dedicated group of volunteers that put a lot of time into that. Next thing I'll go over is just a few of the public events that we hosted within our department. First one, obviously, I had mentioned muskie release. This most recent one was on the beer and flowage of the Wisconsin River, is where they released those. Multiple fisheries, state water ski show tournament, which we just concluded this past weekend. Excellent turnout. Show went very well. Bluegrass on the lake. It's a bluegrass music festival out at our Southwood County Park. Multiple disc golf tournaments, Jeremiah's Crossing Car Show at Dexter County Park, and then summer and winter Kiwanis Youth Outdoor Event, which is held at Southwood County Park also. So many events which bring in, in regards to the ski show, thousands of people into our community, which is a lot of beneficial results from that. One of the other events, I believe this current year is the third year, I believe, and that is basically the Wood County Sheriff's Department. They have staff come into each one of our campgrounds and basically just mingle, play some games with the kids. Has been very popular, so I just want to thank the Sheriff's Department. Just one note on that, and I'll touch base on a few other departments as we go along, but Wood County Sheriff's Department is just one of many Wood County departments that we work with. They have a reserve staff that basically we contract with, so a lot of the younger individuals getting into that field, and some older, they get a lot of experience just communicating, working with campers, not employees, but patrons coming into the parks. But it's a really good training resource that I think they find mutually beneficial. We obviously get patrol and we get enforcement, and they get a training exercise for hopefully future employees. Then we'll get into a few of the projects that we completed or started in 2023. This is just a picture of our open shelter at Southwood County Park. This is the location where the future storm shelter is going to be located. Currently, that shelter is about 95% done. Still waiting on a few windows and doors that are on back order, but for the most part, it is completed. This project was actually, the planning for this was done multiple years ago. The former emergency management director, Steve Cruiser, was initially the one that spearheaded the idea. If you're familiar with the state ski show, we've had several very large wind storm events during that time period, and we've had other storms obviously go through that park in the past, and that's kind of where that idea stemmed from, is getting a larger basically tornado-proof building for events and campers and things like that. So 23, we started the groundwork for that, and obviously 24, we're hoping to complete that project. Just a few other maintenance projects. So this is a few pictures of our shop at Southwood County Park. Because of just the expansive additional features, number of park patrons coming out, just the amount of trail, different things within our parks department. We kind of run out of space on occasion as far as our old maintenance shops. So we basically converted an old cold storage bay to a heated bay, much more usable and functional for our maintenance staff. Just a few more pictures. We installed a whole building ventilation system in our shower building, and we did some upgrades to one of our vault toilets in the shelter, or the campground at South Park also. Powers Bluff, as you're aware, we've had several projects going on. We completed a 3-mile multi-use trail, gravel surfaced trail system. Turned out great. We did this in cooperation with the Highway Department. They did a lot of the grubbing. Our staff, Parks and Forestry staff, also did a lot of the work here as well. So that's another example of a department that we work with quite a bit. The other picture is we completed with the help of a contractor. Basically, they did most of the work, 2 downhill segments of our single track bike trail. So with the completion of that, we basically have 5.5 miles of mountain bike trail system up at Powers Bluff, which is what Chairman Plimmel had referenced earlier. Seems to be very popular, a lot of usage going on up there as well. And our goal is to, in the future, host events up there for races, high school races, different styles, using both of those trail systems. In addition to the trails, Highway Department also installed an entrance road as well as a parking lot, trailhead parking lot at Powers Bluff. And that project was basically as a result of funding a combination of ARPA funds as well as a $250,000 stewardship fund through the state. I didn't mention that before, but the multi-use trail was also basically ARPA funds, so COVID relief funds went towards that project. So, very, very exceptional projects that those funds were going towards. Dexter Park, we installed a second firewood storage building, or lean-to structure here, as well as a kiosk that was at the ATV camping area. Northwood County Park, we upgraded 33 sites, going from a 30 amp pedestal up to a 50 amp. We're starting to have a lot of electrical issues with those older styles, and we've been going with 50 amp with all of our new installs of electric. We also put underground, there's a stretch of overhead lines within the campground that we ended up putting underground, replacing and upgrading the transformers as well, and that was with Aligned Energy. Another picture of just updating some of our vault toilets, putting in ADA accessible access points and doors and things like that. This is just a slide showing, so last year we also implemented a online purchase, and this is basically for trail system passes, boat landing passes, disc golf course passes, so people can now go online to purchase those items. There's also a kiosk at each one of those locations where they can also pay via envelope, or they can scan a QR and it'll QR code and it'll take them to this site for purchase. Just comparing 23 with previous years in some of these areas, that middle triangle is basically the totals for the camping unit nights in 2023. So as you can see, 20,003 nights were spent within all 3 of our campgrounds. And that's actually an increase from 2 years ago. 2 years ago was kind of the end of the COVID period, and we had 2 really strong camping unit night years where we just saw numbers explode. So it's very telling. We had a little dip in 2022, but 23 rebounded and it actually exceeded the COVID years. So it's very telling that people are still continuing to come into our campgrounds really at record numbers. And these are just a few other just comparisons left to right, 2021 to 2023, showing boat launch, Powers Bluff, disc golf, and trail passes. Trail passes, obviously, we are expecting to have significant increases. It did increase 72% over last year, but we're looking at a lot more with the new trail system up at Powers Bluff as well. And this is just number-wise revenue coming in, just showing the growth in all of these different areas. Slight drop in violations and a slight drop in boat launch, but everything else really was a pretty substantial increase, 25% increase overall comparing the 2 years. In addition to parks, we obviously have county forest, which plays a major role not only in the land use but also revenue coming into our department. Last year, as you can see, was the second highest on record, $699, almost $700,000 of timber revenue that came in. Now, a lot of that was due to the fact that we had a very dry year, summer as well, going into fall, winter. A lot of the timber harvests that typically only happen during frozen ground conditions, they're able to do that during the summer months. So that aided a lot, but it was a very good year for timber harvest. Got a lot of older harvest bids off the books that have been on the books for quite a while. This is just showing comparison of what the actual tax levy for our department is. So it compares 21, 22, and 23. So that lower number, $747,336, was our tax levy that we basically relied on the taxpayers of Wood County for last year. We do get a lot of revenues. Last year exceeded $2 million in revenues, and that's a combination of forestry, parks, grants, things like that. But annually, we still rely on property taxes, some sales tax, things like that. So we are very appreciative of that, and we try to do our best to use the public's money as best we can. And that was a quick rendition of what happened last year, and I would be open for any questions or comments. So.
Wow, silence. Yeah, like I said, our parks in Wood County, our parks department do an outstanding job, and they do it in conjunction with everybody else. I know our PERC chairman, our basically Park and Forestry chairman, Jay Kahn, was out the water ski tournament this week. They had over 20,000+ people in attendance over the 4 days, but they don't do that alone, and you mentioned that. I mean, the sheriff's department's out there, the reserve deputies, the rescue squad's out there, the Grand Rapids Police Department, the community, they all come together. The same thing happens up in the northern part of the county when we have those events. But we have tremendous cooperation. I think you're going to see an increase in tourism, which is huge, part of our economic development in the area. Part of that is the development of some of the ATV routes and trails that we're going to see going forward. And you guys, you just do a really outstanding job. Just a kind of a comment aside from that, it was pretty funny. We do have people retire. It's almost generational, it seems. People come in, they work for us for 25, 30 years, and then retirement occurs. And I actually walked up to the parks office one day and I said, "This is Chad," and they said, "Who are you?" And I'm like, geez, for 25 years I had the same people asking me, and I thought, well, that's kind of a one-off. Maybe I ought to get up to the Parks Department a little more often. And then I walked up to the Clerk of Court's office the same day, and I had the same response. And I talked to Kimberly, they said, "Who are you?" So my point there is, when is your summer parks tour coming up? You haven't done that yet, have you?
No, we got to discuss that probably in September is when we're gonna.
So where I was heading is, I'm guessing that there are a number of supervisors out there who have not been to every one of our facilities. And I would encourage you, if you can tag along with that group, or if we have to add an extra vehicle, to really get out and see all of our parks, all of our facilities. We touch on some of the timber harvests that are in progress or will go forward, and I think it's a tremendous opportunity. I know Jake would echo that, and I know my county clerk's probably biting his tongue because he's chaired that committee forever as well. You have anything to say on that, Trent?
Heather and I are going this year, but back in our day when we had to go, we had those old rusty emergency management vans that you could watch the line stripes from the road underneath. So I don't know if the current supervisors can get into that, but it'd be nice if they could have that experience like the rest of us.
So my point is, take advantage of that if you haven't had that opportunity to really see what we have out there, to see all the facilities, how they operate, and then what a benefit those are to the taxpayers of Wood County, as well as those who come and visit us and hopefully relocate to our area. So Chad, thanks. Any other questions, comments? Fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it looks like that concludes another great hour of county board meetings here in July. Does anybody else have anything good of the order that needs to come before the board? All right, our next meeting is scheduled for August 20th. Hopefully see you all there. I guess with nothing further to do, I will declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.